Chinese car manufacturers are mounting an assault on the UK car market, and the latest firm to arrive here is Chery with their Omoda and Jaecoo brands. Now, I think these two brands are ones you really need to pay attention to. So coming up now is everything you need to know.
There are a number of Chinese car makers already in the UK, some big, some small. But Chery is probably the biggest of the lot. Since 2002, it has been the #1 exporter of Chinese cars. It sold over 1.8 million cars in China in 2023, and it exported nearly 1 million. And now it has its eyes set on the UK. It's bringing its Omoda and Jaecoo brands, with Omoda being affordable, premium and a touch sporty, while Jaecoo is a little more posh. 7 cars are set to arrive in the UK by the end of 2025, starting with the Omoda 5. It's a Nissan Qashqai size crossover, which will come initially with a 1.6 litre turbo petrol engine, and a 1.5 litre hybrid will come in 2025. Its design reminds me of quite a few crossovers, but what with those red flashes on the wheels, it's certainly head-turning.
Now, inside the Omoda 5, my first impressions are pretty good. Now, the design, I mean, it's pretty generic, but it is bang on trend. You've got these 2 large screens in front of you. It all feels very minimalist in here, high centre console, easy to charge your phones. The material quality feels pretty good. Bearing in mind this car is going to cost around the early 20,000s, £24,000 is a rough starting point. It feels pretty good in here, I have to say. Now, there are some carryover parts, I think, from Mercedes models, such as the controls for the electric windows, the stalks, some of the buttons. But if you're going to be taking anybody's switchgear, why wouldn't you take Mercedes stuff after all? I think it's pretty good in here.
The Omoda 5 is going to be cheap. Prices are likely to start at around £24,000 and rise to 26 grand, meaning it'll cost around the same as a Nissan Juke or a Volkswagen T-Cross, which are both smaller and from the class below. It will come with a raft of luxuries as standard, including dual 10.25-inch screens, a 360-degree camera, electric seats and acoustic glass. A 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty is thrown in too. If the Omoda 5 is too small, then there's the Omoda 9. This will be launching later in 2024, and it's a large SUV with both petrol and plug-in hybrid power. Omoda is promising around an 800-mile range for the hybrid. It looks pretty stylish, but it's the interior that's really impressive. It's very spacious and feels very well put together. Omoda is also planning to bring an SUV to sit between the 5 and the 9, called the 7, in 2025, and an entry-level B-segment crossover called the 3. It could look like this, and will be arriving in late 2025 or early 2026.
This is the car that's potentially going to really stamp Omoda's footprint here in the UK. It's the electric version of the 5, the E5. Now, it's powered by a 61 kilowatt-hour LFP Blade battery. It's going to have a range around 250 odd miles. And get this, the starting price of this is probably going to be around £33,000. And if it does come in at that, this is going to undercut a serious number of existing electric hatchbacks which are currently on sale.
Jaecoo is Chery's slightly posher brand. There will be 3 models coming to the UK, called the 5, 7 and 8, with the 7 arriving first in late 2024 with a 1.6 litre petrol engine and a 1.5 litre plug-in hybrid with 2 or 4-wheel drive. It's sort of a Skoda Kodiaq sized car, and its 14.8-inch vertical touchscreen and facial recognition tech showing it's more of a premium offering. There's a whiff of Jeep and Land Rover here though, especially with the exposed screws on the doors and this gear lever that looks like one of the Terminator's elbows. It'll be priced around £35,000.
Now, as you can see, the products do look pretty impressive. I'm going to be driving this car along with the electric E5 later this year. And Jaecoo and Amoda have some pretty high expectations here in the UK. They've already got around 65 dealers signed up here. They're aiming to have 100 by the end of the year, and they're aiming to sell 10,000 cars by the end of 2024. I'll let you know what I think of these cars when I drive them later this year. But in the meantime, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments box below.